Welcome to another episode of Crypto Casual. This is episode 9, July 14th, 2001. Welcome and thank you for all who keep tuning in and leaving me your comments and whatnot, so I really appreciate that. For those who have been watching, my name's Chuck, so I appreciate you showing up. My whole theme is that Bitcoin is energy. Consciousness is energy. So Bitcoin for me is the second wave consciousness that's sort of permeating the earth, if you will, and raising people's vibrations, consciousness. There's a whole bunch of names for it, but for me it's just we're humans going from 110 electrical to 220 volts. And it's about understanding how to negotiate the transition from 110 to 220. And that deals with our own emotions, clearing out our old stuff, open up to new stuff. And some of the first manifestation of this new consciousness within the health, wealth, and love range is cryptocurrency, at least for me. And so I'm seeing the manifestation of this new consciousness in a system that's allowing people to be free from the enslavement of the dollar. I'm not here to get political. I'm just looking at energy and where I want to flow and vibe with, So I'm, like I said, on the screen. Some people will want visuals for right now, and later we'll have a better version of this. But right now, this is just the start. So some of these things I'll read right off the chart. I know that can be boring, but at the same time, hey, we'll just get through this together. All right. So here at Crypto Casual, we like to casually talk about cryptocurrencies, BTC finance, and again, we do it with the esoteric twist. The format I normally lay out for the day is going to be esoteric, insightful question or topic of the day, behavioral frameworks to sort of help us get through these transitional times. The crypto definition, because I know that can be overwhelming for a lot of you, will give you normally one topic that I think is interesting for the news of the day. And I'll give you a strategy of the day, normally having to do with Bitcoin or finance, something like that. We'll go over some crypto prices. The top 3 picks that I like for the day, and then sort of the influencer I like of the day, and basically a book that I like to read. I read on average about 5 books a week, and in order to get your own financial sovereignty and self-worth and all that good stuff, more educated on, is reading. I'm not saying it's a competition to read all those books. It's just start reading what you're interested in. And the more you're interested in something, the more you read it, the more you remember it, the more you know how to use it. So I encourage reading. All right, so before we get into it, please take a moment and just like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Y'all know how to do the algorithms like that, especially viewing hours. In order to get monetized for this station, we have to have at least 1,000 hours, I think, for 6 months or something. But yeah, watch the videos. If you like them, comment below. If you don't, let me know why and see if we can't change that. The purpose of this channel basically is just to show you successful fundamental strategies, educational frameworks on how to grow a rich and simple life, as well as with your mind. And we're going to do this through the understanding of the esoteric of consciousness, which is just electricity, which is just energy. It's what religions worship. It's just electricity, light. There's many names for it, but we're just going to call it electricity. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not anyone's guru. I'm just here to present information. So ultimately, you got to do your own research. And here at Crypto Casual, we don't deep dive. There's enough other people who I recommend. And I do throughout the day or through the videos. I'll recommend someone who's has deep dove into a topic that you want to know something more about. And again, don't invest more than what you're willing to lose in anything. Esoteric thought of the day, and I want you to humor me here. A lot of people look at us as physical, mental, spiritual beings. I look at it from the electrical perspective, which is mechanical, chemical, and electrical, and that's what we are. We're mechanical beings, we're chemical beings, and we are electric beings. And all those 3, mechanical, chemical, and electrical, basically produce energy. And we can look at them as thermo-British units, or BTUs. It's just a metric of measurement of heat that the body produces. So we're electrical beings, we're energetic beings. And so our electrical operating system is powered on a scientific perspective from the mitochondria DNA, which are just cells, and inside that cell, it basically is we'll call it generating electricity, and it's normally referred to as the powerhouse. And so we are basically energy-based beings. And our energy is supplied to our cells from a cosmic liquidity pool. And some of y'all are familiar with that term, liquidity pool, but where do humans get their energy to run their cells, right? We're a big battery, so where are we getting that from? Well, the mitochondria is just, like I said, a powerhouse. It's the electricity that powers the mitochondria comes from the solar system or the solar system power plant. So the solar system power plant is streaming. All electricity in the universe is moving or streaming. We can call it cosmic waves, light waves, radio waves, but energy is always moving. BTC is always moving. So basically, we humans are a projection of the cosmic rays. Much like you're sitting in a movie theater and you're looking up on the screen, but that's not where that's coming from. It's coming from a source, in which is normally in the studios behind us, but the light photons is what's illuminating our existence. So look at us humans, or us energy beings, as a multi-layered dimensional being. And we have access to many multi-dimensions, as we discussed in the last video. So if you want to look at that, just go back to that last video. But we are, in essence, a solar system outlet. Just like an outlet in your house, you plug something into it. And when we plug into our consciousness, our abilities, we can then bring through the cosmic electricity through our bodies. And we can, the more we put and open up to the solar system or the cosmic electrical liquidity pool, we can withdraw, but in equal we have to put back. And we can do that through numerous ways, which we'll touch here in a minute. So basically, the power plant, the solar system power plant, basically works on homeostasis, or a balance, a yin and yang, a dichotomy, a 1-0 binary system. And again, we're keeping this casual and simple. We can deep dive into any of this stuff, but let's just have some fun. All right, we have the ability to withdraw that power to manifest things through our outlet, or the human shell. You can sing. That's an expression of the electrical energies being produced by your body. You can hammer a hammer. That's energy being produced through the cells, and so on and so forth. The amount that we withdraw is equivalent to the amount we input. So like we said, put into the universe. So to withdraw large amounts and turn them into what we know now as BTC, which just is an extension of the 220 new consciousness, because BTC is just electricity. All right, so for example, we must have an abundance of energy of our own. And how do we get enough? How do we tap into more energy instead of 110 up to 220? Well, we need to release old, outdated mental material, such as taking an inventory or looking back, reflecting on who told you what was right, who told you what to believe in, what are your beliefs around money, right? Who did you hear from at first? What was your experience with it first? What did old poor Uncle Joe tell you? What did drunk Uncle Sam tell you? As George Gammon would say, drunk Uncle Sam. And he's the guy you need to watch as well. I recommended him, I think, a day or two ago, but his information is educational. Anyway, we need to release our old, outdated systems. We know what's not working for us because it only brings us frustration, disempowerment, and so forth. So take a look at that and then ask yourself, why are you still choosing to focus on that? And because focusing on that is taking thought energy away that could be opening up to the new consciousness that then can produce the 220 or the BTC. Making sense? All right. Gratitude and appreciation. If you wake up every day and you can get out of bed, you ought to be grateful. If you can see, be grateful. If you can hear, be grateful. If you got a roof over your head, if you got food in your stomach, if you got friends, there's so much to be grateful for. I would encourage writing all this down so you can remind yourself. Every morning I wake up and every night I go to bed, I am grateful for pretty much everything. So that generates an energy flow, not a disempowerment flow. It doesn't draw down your cells in the body, which can bring disease as we know it. Service to yourself and then others. And I say that because we're no good to anyone if we don't service our own selves. Let's look at that as the car. If we don't service our car, we can't take anyone around town if we're an Uber driver or something, because our car will break down. So we got to take care of ourselves first, then we can help others. So the more we can help ourselves and the more we're charged, the more we can help others get charged as well, if they're open to it. So yeah, service to others is important, at least in my book. And one of the most important things is taking responsibility for your own thoughts, actions, and emotions. Because the only one thinking your thoughts are you. No one's putting thoughts into your head. And if you believe they are, but it's still up to you to think about what they're thinking. To think, it's your thought about what you think about what they said. Making sense now? All right. So, since energy is transmutative, meaning that we can take energy, physical energy, and turn it into something else. My muscles are energy. I can turn that into a house by hammering a hammer, if you will. So we know what we talked last time about BTC being a multi-dimensional energy flow, and the multi-dimensional electrical liquidity pools excuse me, and transfigure that energy into multiple streams of BTC. So if we are a multi-dimensional, and diamond Zion we talked about before is multi-dimensional, much like a Rubik's Cube. We have multiple existences or holograms of ourselves. We can tap into those holograms, and if they have excess liquidity pools, we can, in essence, borrow from them as long as we return something back. So if you're receiving, make sure you're transmitting of equal energy and importance. So the prerequisite is opening up to the second consciousness with an undefended heart. What do I mean by undefended heart? An undefended heart is that you're not doing this because of poverty mentality or trying to prove something to somebody else, and being yourself included. It's about being ego-less. It doesn't mean we're going to get rid of our ego. That's just part of our own dimension. But we can harness that ego, put it off to the side for a bit, and then look at this new consciousness from a heart-based perspective, not an egoic, that I'm going to make money and then hold that power over you and enslave you with that power. No, the more BTC we make, the more energy, let me backtrack, the more energy we can bring in, opening up by dumping our old self, by opening up to new stuff, and it increases our cellular power within our body to be able to do more, feel more, be more, and being able to be successful more by opening up to the energy and then focusing it on BTC or the cryptocurrency again, which is just an extension of the new consciousness, and the financial third of physical, mental, or the health, wealth, and love. And so when we begin to get more energy, our hearts are overwhelming, and we just want to share that wealth. We want to help others. We want to educate others into being better, being a better person. And it's not up to us to attach to their outcome. They're just other people are going to do what they're going to do. But for me, it's just sharing the wealth and knowledge of stuff I've learned and know. So let's really switch over here from now and just go into the definition of the day. And a lot of terms sometimes you'll hear in the crypto world is second layer solutions. What does that mean? Well, you have your on-chain layers, Bitcoin. It's live, its data is 365, that energy is always streaming. But the way Bitcoin is built, it puts out a new block roughly about every 10 minutes. That, excuse me, you should turn the microphone off. I just had a smoothie, so I think it was a little thick. Anywho, so anything that's on chain is, if you will, right now, BTC is a first layer solution, but it does a new block every 10 minutes, and it can get backed up, so it's slow in the remittance aspect of cryptocurrency. But a second layer solution is an off chain, which means it's based on top of that chain, but it doesn't use the same stream. So the second layer solution would be what we're calling Lightning Network. And Lightning Network has a liquidity pool where people put their Bitcoin in, and then other people can come in and use that Lightning Network and pull out small increments. We'll just say roughly $500 and less for daily transactions. So it can be used as money, but I necessarily don't use Bitcoin for money. I just store it away and just leave it there, and just it'll always be there. I won't spend it. But the Lightning Network is a second layer solution to Bitcoin, which just sort of fills in the gaps of what's not being performed at its best. But Bitcoin performs its best, but other people want it to work faster. And so by putting on the second layer, it helps it move faster in a different way. So hopefully that makes sense of what a second layer solution is. News of the day. Tanzania's first female president wants the country to go crypto. So after El Salvador went crypto, or BTC as their currency, Tanzania president wants to do the same along with other countries as well. You can find this news of the day. Just Google it. You can find it. I'm not going to go deep into it again. We're just keeping it superficial, but let you know what's going on in the world. All right, strategy of the day. Because Bitcoin can drop really quick or go up really quick, we always want to be prepared to get the best price for our buck, if you will. And so we want to make sure that we have on-ramped cash into some stable coin. I like using DAI or Gemini dollar, the USDG, I believe it's called. So I have not only cash sitting on these exchanges, I also have stable coin. And a stable coin, like we talked about before, is just pegged to the dollar, but it moves pretty much instantly around the ecosphere of cryptocurrency. So if Bitcoin were to drop really quick, I got the money or the stable coin to immediately exchange that into Bitcoin. And there's other ways to do this as well, but I'm just giving you a basic strategy to start with if you're new. So I stack up some stable coins. I got a little bit of cash on there. I got other cryptocurrencies. So anytime anything happens, I'm ready. I don't have to go, oh my God, Bitcoin's dropping, and let me get with my bank and send money over. Well, that can take days or weeks or whatever. On Gemini, luckily, you can buy instantly, but it takes the bank 7 days to clear it. But they'll sort of front you that money, but you can't take it off the exchange, but you can still buy Bitcoin at that cheap price, if you will. So that way, anything were to happen, we're set and ready to go. So a basic strategy, just have some cash or have some stable coins ready to go. And price of the day, I was just going to bring up the Bitcoin chart, but it's basically the same thing occurring. Let me refresh this real quick. Hopefully y'all are seeing the screen. We're waiting for it to come back up. Alright, seems to be taking forever. Alright, well, we'll go back. Like I said, we'll perfect this stuff later. But anyway, the price of the day, Bitcoin's still running sideways between 31,000 and 35,000. So nothing different from the last 3 days of the whole month of July, basically. So picks of the day, my 3 picks of the day are Sora or XOR. It's recent, as I checked it before, it was 169. It may be a little cheaper right now because everything's sort of going down a little bit. But it was up to $829, so it's a great deal for me right now. Zoracle, which is an oracle, such like Chainlink and such, Zora, it's $91 right now, and it was as high as $2,000, a little higher than $2,000, but right around $2,000. So for me, I'm buying more of those because I bought them when they were cheap, and if I can get them cheap again, so I really didn't want to pay $2,000 for each one. So $91 is a steal for me right now, so I'm definitely getting those. The Keeper DAO, or the Rook, is also down 13% at 121. I think it was as high as 300 or 400. I'd have to double check. But yeah, these are my 3 picks of the day, what they do. Each one, go down and deep dive, just pull up CoinMarketCap. And I think the next video I do is just bringing up those screens and working through those and showing you how to navigate throughout there. So when I say, hey, go look at this coin, you know what I'm talking about. But because we're keeping it casual, we're not going to deep dive. So hopefully you like that. If you want some deeper information about a particular topic, definitely leave me a comment down below. The influencer of the day is Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is the CEO of MicroStrategies, which is a billion-dollar company. And I think I recommended him before, but for those who have sort of a left brain engineering mind, Michael Saylor is definitely one to listen to, and he puts understanding Bitcoin not only from a financial standpoint, but also from an electrical engineer standpoint. So, and he really gives great arguments as to why and why he's buying so much. I think MicroStrategy now has 105 million of them. Which is pretty good, and he keeps buying more and more. So look at Michael Saylor on YouTube, and you can find plenty of stuff by him. The book of the day is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel was one of the creators of PayPal. It's a great book to read. So again, part of your education into the second consciousness is read as much as you can about what you're interested in, and get out there, serve yourself and serve others. And remember, this is to just keep life casual. All right. We'll see you next time.